I wonder, like, I had this thought and I put it on my Substack note thing that I was on the bus going to uni, yeah, and I just realized I looked around. Imagine if on the bus there was like chatter, talking to random people, getting to know their stories. But no, instead everyone's got their headphones in, everyone's looking down on their phones, being social on social media, but they're not social in real life. And it's like, bro, like imagine how fun life would be if we actually communicated with one another.
Mm, mm.
Like getting to know random people's stories, I just think how amazing that would be.
So, welcome to a new episode of This Days Between Us for my Advice to My Younger Self series featuring Fizza. And Fizza, go for it. Tell us about
Uh,
yourself.
I'm Fizza. I'm a first year journalism student at UAL, University of Arts London. And some of my interests are, writing. So I have a little profile on Substack. I also write some poetry. I perform poetry sometimes. I like to do art sometimes as well. So just random creative stuff, honestly. Yeah, that's me.
Oh, what kind of random creative stuff do you like to do?
I mean, to be honest, like in terms of like painting and all of that, I was into calligraphy for a bit. I never like learned it professionally or like, it's just some hobby that I just picked up. Like that's kind of the way I am. Like I have just random phases of keeping different hobbies. So one of them was painting for a while. I'm trying to keep up with that now. Poetry has always been one for me, like ever since I was 9 years old. It's something that's helped me like process my emotions and just connect with people a lot. So it's one of my loves in life. But
Oh,
yeah, yeah. So poetry, I also perform poetry. I did this exhibition thing with this program. It was a young archivist program by Croydon Council. And basically, I got to meet with other creatives and collaborate on an exhibition about being like a diaspora kid and, being in Croydon and how my identity is formed that way. So I got to work on like making my own film, like a short film based on poetry I wrote. I got to make a banner. I got to perform some poetry. So basically, yeah. And then there's writing, Substack. That's something I'm trying to lean into more professionally, of course, with what I want to do with journalism. But yeah, it's just random things. I'm just chaotic, honestly.
and
But
I
yeah,
feel like this is the age where you need to explore those random things. Like, you
true,
don't have as
true.
much economic responsibility or like
Yeah, that
family
is true.
responsibility, so you
Yeah,
have a bit more freedom to do like the art, the calligraphy, making
yeah.
short films sound amazing. You should definitely like tell us more about the films. Go for it.
It was not really like a film, like it was more of a poetry video, if you want to say. So I wrote a poem as part of one of the workshops there. And then we got to learn more about filmmaking and just, like taking shots, etc. So I basically based it on like my poem that I wrote. It's called Two/Door. So it's basically about being a diaspora kid and how I balance two identities and just kind of being lost, not being British enough, and at the same time not being Pakistani enough. Sure, loads of people can relate to that. And then, yeah, it was kind of around that, having a split identity. Yeah. And finding my own voice, creating my own identity away from influences. That was kind of the gist of it.
What would
Yeah.
your own identity look like?
Damn, that is a deep question. I feel like I feel like I'm still figuring out my identity, which has a lot to do with the advice I would give to my younger self.
Mm.
I wrote down to be more present in my life instead of, idealizing this future or thinking about the past, what I could have done and who I could have been if I changed certain mistake or, I have this really bad habit since childhood of daydreaming.
Same,
Yeah.
same.
It's so bad. It's really, really bad. I think I've gotten better with it, but I just like to imagine a future away from my reality. And I think because of that, I I get confused with who I am, you know. Like
Mm.
instead of being in touch with my now, I kind of think about my then, who I was then, and I have to like drag my past identity to my now, or I have to be this idealized version of myself. And in between all of that, I'm kind of losing who I am in this moment. So, yeah, that was kind of my advice to my younger self would be like sometimes it's okay to let go both of the past and the future to find out who you are now. That's kind of, I don't know if that's making sense,
It
but
is making sense. I can
yeah,
relate because like when I entered university and it wasn't like A levels where I could revise it from a textbook and memorize the answers. So
yeah,
I felt like I'm dragging my expectations of my sixth form self into university, but the two
yeah,
aren't really adding up, and I can't
yeah,
find a sort of harmony between both because uni
yeah,
work is much harder and sixth form
mm,
work was much easier, so I can't be
yeah,
the same person I was before. And I used to
exactly,
idealize the past as well and be like, why can't I be who I was before? And so
exactly.
I get what you mean. I really
Yeah,
do. So
yeah, yeah.
why would you give this particular advice to your younger self? And like what age group are you thinking of young Fizza?
Because I think I've been really thinking and reflecting on this specifically right now because I'm going to turn 20 in September this year. And I'm thinking back to like, 2016, I was 10 years old, 2026, I'm turning 20. So it's a major kind of shift in my life. So
Mm.
I'm just thinking about back to when I was 10 in primary school. I have very vivid memories of that time. I
Mm.
usually didn't have that many memories. Like my my memories are not that vivid from other times of my life as much as when I was 10 years old. And I used to be this really optimistic, living in a daydream, everything's rainbows and sunshines kind of kid. And I think as I grew up, I started becoming more pessimistic and then confused. And I'm just trying to drag on this other version of myself that I used to be. And now I'm just like, who am I? Like, who am I basically? Now that I'm turning 20, why am I still carrying this want to be how I was 10 years old when I was 10 years old when so much has changed? Like I don't have to be the same person, and that's okay, that kind of thing. Like that's
Yeah, you
yeah.
know, you're hitting something. You see, you're hitting something really hard because, like, I'm thinking back to myself when I was 10 years old. I was 10
Yeah.
years old in 2014, by the way. So
Oh, okay.
I'm a
Yeah,
couple years older than you.
yeah.
Um,
2
so
years then.
two,
But yeah,
2 years,
yeah,
not that
yeah,
old.
yeah,
It'll only hit different when you're 28 and I'm 30. That's when you're like, oh, okay.
yeah. Oh,
The
damn.
gap
Yeah,
is
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I was 10 years old in 2014 and
Mm.
in 2024, I moved out for the first time for a
Oh,
year.
damn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it was like I was thinking about the girl I was at 10 years old. What advice would
yeah,
I give to her? And that
yeah.
was at a time where I was experiencing racism in primary school.
Oh,
And then
damn. Yeah.
the year I moved out, I was moving to a very white area. So I was just reflecting,
Okay.
what advice would I give to my younger self that I can implement 10 years later? And that is to be brave.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, I
No,
get what you
totally, I get
mean.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 'cause especially like um after sixth form, like I moved out, like you're saying, like you moved to a what's it called, a white majority kind of area.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
moved to a white majority school, and I went to an
Mm.
Islamic school before that.
Oh.
So, and just then, like I would think I was 15 when I randomly chose to wear the hijab. I didn't have any influence at all, and it was like the randomest thing I've ever done in my life.
Mm,
And I was still going to an Islamic school at that point. But then I'm 16 and I'm now going to a completely different school, right? A white majority school, non-Muslim majority school. I'm one of two hijabis in the entire school.
mm,
And suddenly I don't know who I am because I'm still struggling with the hijab. And so these few years have been kind of like tumultuous, chaotic, hectic in terms of like who I am.
mm.
But I think those parts of my life have taught me a lot about my identity, what I like, what I dislike, and have made me closer to those parts of myself, like my Muslim identity, my, you know, Pakistani identity, and just my identity. And I think if I told my 10-year-old self that, then I don't think they would understand what I am going through now. So I don't have to be that same person when I was 10 years old, because our experiences are so much more different,
Mm,
right?
mm,
But it kind of, at the same time, I'm going to be contradicting myself here, but like when I was 9 years old, I moved permanently from Pakistan to the UK. So I was born in the UK, but then we moved back to Pakistan, right? And then we were always in between countries. But then when I was 9, we like permanently moved to the UK.
mm,
So when I was 10, I was going through that kind of shift as well,
mm,
figuring out who I am in terms of being in a new country, new environment. And then now when I'm 20, I'm also now figuring out what I want to do in my future, you know, thinking about my sixth form life, what I've taken from it. Yeah, it's so many things. So it's like they mirror each other a little bit, right? But
yeah,
they're completely two different people.
that is
So
true. That is
yeah,
very true.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that made sense or did I complicate that
No,
completely?
I think it makes sense because I'm thinking about it from my ends. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was a hijabi in 2014, a hijabi
yeah,
in 2024, bit
yeah,
of an up and down hijabi in between those years.
yeah,
Still a hijabi in both sort of time
yeah, yeah,
points,
yeah,
but my situation and my courage in myself was very different.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
at
yeah.
10 years old, I didn't want to wear it because I was getting bullied for it. At 20
Mm,
years old, I was getting questioned about it, but I kept it firm and I wore different colors every day. I'm like, you say what you like, man. I
yeah,
my hijab, get your
yeah,
hands off. Yeah, so it's just like complete different levels of confidence and different
mm,
situations and a
yeah,
different
yeah,
heart coming into that situation as well.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was my advice to my younger self, to be more present in life, stop escaping into the past or like an imagined future. But I think what's really helped me now is basically like my hobbies a lot of the time. That's what I was going to get into, like poetry, for example. I
Hmm.
started writing poetry when I was 9, and I've still carried that on. So when I look at my poetry from when I was 9 years old, my first notebook, it shows me a lot about my thoughts, the way I viewed life. And then when I compare it to
Oh,
now, I'm like, oh my God. So those things really give me like this reflection about how my mindset has changed, for example. And yeah, and also one other thing, the story that I was going to tell,
go for
I
it.
kept this, yeah. So basically, I was like, I didn't have stage fright exactly when I was 9 years old, but I did have confidence issues. So I always wanted to be like a public speaker, right? But there was always something that kept me, pushed back. Like I never broke out of my comfort zone and was like, I'm going to do this, right? And when I moved from Pakistan, I was still finding it difficult to adapt to the environment. So I was quite still like the quiet kid, the shy kid, right? But then there's one pivotal moment that really changed the way I saw public speaking, and I just fell in love with it. And so basically, there was this end of year assembly in year 4, and I had been given a really like extra part, just one dialogue, right? But I don't know what happened to me in that moment. I was like, I'm gonna be creative with this dialogue. So I put on an accent, I played around with it. And the teacher liked it so much that they gave me one of the main roles with like a whole dialogue.
Oh my
Yeah, yeah.
gosh.
And from then, like, I fell in love with public speaking. I just, and I've always loved it. Poetry, speeches, everything to do with it. Because I think it has a lot to do with the advice I want to give. Because public speaking has allowed me to become so present in the moment, right? I don't have to think about what's going to happen in the future, what's going to happen in the past. I'm thinking about the room, the energy in the room, the audience. I'm thinking about my body language. I'm thinking about how I have to say what I have to say with purpose and intention. And I think that's really helped me become more present, because I hear a lot of the time this advice being thrown around of being in the moment, be in the moment, but nobody told you how to
Mm.
be in the moment.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I think it depends on every single person, but for me, it was definitely public speaking and yeah, just my hobbies and creativity, you know. And yeah, I also mentioned like how I had this problem daydreaming, right? Just thinking about like I wasted hours on daydreaming. I still do, but I've improved because instead of channeling that daydreaming and that bad habit into, you know, anxieties about the future or whatever, you know, escaping my reality, I turned that into creative writing.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
yeah. So I'm currently working on a novel.
Oh,
I,
yes,
yeah,
girl.
yeah. I mean,
Yay.
yeah. So that really helps, like creative writing, because now I can just daydream about the next scenes I'm gonna write, the next dialogues
Mm.
of my characters, and think about their future instead of, you know, thinking about mine. Like, I think, yeah. So you have to find what helps you be present in the moment. Is it taking a walk outside? Is it pets? Is it family? Is it, you know, whatever it is? What about you? What do you think?
Like
Like,
for me, staying
yeah,
present in the moment, good. Like just doing my
yeah,
morning and evening is good. Like I tell
yeah,
myself, don't flake on this because like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, this is gonna sound so bad. But like I got a bit complacent during Ramadan. And there was
yeah,
this one day where I had an exam, an online
yeah,
exam. I'd
yeah,
been flaking around with my Edgar. It's so bad that
yeah.
the exam started at 12 and it was online. I woke up
Mhm.
at 12:20 p.m.
Oh,
And
damn.
I grabbed my bed. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't grab my bed. I grab my laptop. I
yeah,
log into the exam. I'm having period cramps too. So
yeah,
in like 30 minutes, I somehow whip up some answers and submit it. And I
yeah,
know that I could have gotten a better grade had I
yeah,
maintained my Adhkar, maintained
yeah,
my timing, been more present in the moment rather than
mhm.
present on my phone. I
Yeah,
could
yeah,
have fixed this up
yeah,
completely.
yeah.
And since then, I've been trying to do my Ithkar regularly
Mm,
because it centers me. It means I don't waste time as much. It means I don't end up in that situation again with like another exam or something. But I feel like that was a wake-up
exactly.
call from Allah.
Yeah,
Like, what are you
yeah,
doing with your life? What are you
yeah,
doing? There are consequences. Um,
yeah,
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 so
yeah.
that's
No,
definitely one thing that's been helping me.
yeah, no, that's really interesting. Definitely. I think prayer, meditation, any form of that, whatever shape or form, I think it really helps to ground you in the present, you know. And yeah, like I think, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say a point, I've forgotten it right off the top of my head. Um, Let me try and remember what was I gonna say. Uh, I
It's
literally
okay.
forgot.
We can come back to it. I feel like it's gonna come to you the more we
Yeah,
talk.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I wanted to ask, you know that dialogue that you're talking about? Do you
yeah.
remember what the dialogue was, that one line from your year four assembly?
I don't remember it.
Oh
Unfortunately, I don't. It
no.
was years ago, dude, but it was like
Oh.
it was just one dialogue and it was like something to do with like bravo at the end. Like I just dramatized it and made it into a character.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
so cool. I used to do that. I think like in year two, we had to do the nativity, and I was
Yeah.
always put as an angel. And
Mm.
I think one of my lines was, "Look, there's a star." So I would say
Yeah.
that with so much expression. The teachers would be like, "Yo, why is she doing this? Why is she acting so extra?" But yeah, that
Yeah.
would be,
Yeah.
"Look, there is a star."
Yeah.
So I still remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. But yeah, that's what I've been kind of focusing on, definitely, is trying to be more present. Oh yeah, the point came back to me. You mentioned on being like on the screen and on the phone, that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and how much that can actually take away from being present
Yes.
in your moment.
Yes.
Because seeing other people, like their lives and, you know, this constant dopamine gratification outside, that we forget about us in the moment. Like we can be with our families, right, and then just be flicking through our phones. We can be on the
Oh my
dinner table,
gosh.
everyone's on their phone, nobody's in the
Yeah.
moment. You're
Yeah.
literally watching videos of food
While
while
eating
eating
food.
your own food,
Yeah.
and then you're like, damn, I want their food, instead of being like, oh wow, like in this moment, look at my food. Like, you get what I'm saying?
I know
Like,
what you mean.
it's kind of crazy when you deep it, because I don't think enough people deep it, because I think
Mm.
it's just making us more desensitized, you know. But yeah,
I agree with you. Like when I was a little kid, I used to watch CBeebies and there was this
Mm.
show called I Can Cook and like she'd
Yeah,
be making
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
most like beautiful dishes and
yeah.
I'd just be eating my rice and my veg and being like, oh, if only I could have what they're making.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and now especially like there's screens everywhere and this constant like, stimulation,
Hmm.
music, or whatever. Whenever you go outside, it's never just silence, you know.
I
There's never
know.
so you can't really breathe in the moment. You can't really, interact with people on a deeper level. Like it just takes away from your attention. It takes away from being present in the moment. And I think nowadays, this is why people, throw this advice everywhere. Be in the moment, be in the moment, because we are struggling to be in the moment.
Yes.
But nobody's realizing to be in the moment, we have to change the moment a bit,
Mm,
like,
mm.
why am I on my phone when I'm with my family? Like, why am I watching television when I'm eating? Like, what should I focus on? It's like this constant battle. Do you get what I'm saying? But yeah,
What do you think is the root cause of screen time?
um, I think again it has to do with a lot. Like personally, the way I would interpret it is that it's about escaping reality,
Mm.
right?
I think it's about
We
escaping loneliness, or maybe the
that is
reality of loneliness.
that is a good point. That is a
Mm.
very good point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because we don't instead of how like it's so ironic we call it social media when it's so anti-social. Like everyone like I wonder like I had this thought and I put it on my Substack note thing that I was on the bus going to uni, yeah, and I just realized I looked around. Imagine if on the bus there was like just chatter, talking to random people, getting to know their stories. But no, instead everyone's got their headphones in, everyone's looking down on their phones, being social on social media, but they're not social in real life. And it's like, bro, like imagine how fun life would be if we actually communicated with one another.
Mm, mm.
Like getting to know random people's stories, I just think how amazing that would be
That
instead
would be
of being
really good.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it has to do with a lot about escaping our reality.
Mm.
And it is part of daydreaming. When we look at other people's lives on social media, we're like, I want to be like that. I wish my life was like that. When we've got our own problems going on, we put on like a fantasy show and like,
Mm.
oh, I can escape, into
Mm.
this world.
Mm.
But I don't think that allows you to confront your reality, nor does it change your reality. You need to come to terms with it always. And yes, you can change your habits to be positive, like with daydreaming. Like I said, I like creative writing. And so I'll just think about my characters and it's like productive, right? But at the same time, there's this fine balance that you have to achieve, you
Mm.
know, knowing how to say no to yourself. I have to face this. No one else is going to face whatever problem, whatever good thing it is in this moment. Because when we think about being in the moment, we often think about the positive things, be grateful for, your food or family, but it can also be problems in your life. So be in the moment because nobody else is going to fight your battles for you. And running away from them into an imagined reality is not going to erase that problem. It's just going to
100%.
make it deeper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like yeah, and that advice goes to myself first. That's why I'm saying it because I have a very avoidant personality. Like I don't like to go into conflict for myself. If it's for someone else, I'm gonna fight the other person, right?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. For myself, I'm just like, oh, forget it. Like
Yeah, I'm just
it's
like it,
fine.
it
Whatever
happened.
problem.
I won't fight it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Whatever's gonna let it grow worse. I'll deal with it later. But I think you can't do that. Your reality is your reality. And I think I have that habit since I was young. I want to be in my fantasy world. I want to be in my own bubble.
Mm.
And a lot of people call that carefree, but I don't think that's carefree. That's careless. And there's a
Mm.
difference, right?
Mm.
Like you're just avoiding and denying what your reality is. But you have to accept it because it's meant for you. It's the test that ordained for you to go through. So he
Yeah.
wants you to face it, not avoid it. And it's important for character building. It's so important, you know? Otherwise, you get slapped in the life by face. I mean, by
Wow.
life. Yeah,
That is very, very true.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you,
No, no.
Feza. This has been really,
No.
really insightful. Because, like, I don't really think about being in the moment. Like, I tend to be on my phone quite a lot. And
Same, dude, same.
or
I can't.
like the only time I'm in the moment is, I don't know, let's say it's like near sunset and I see the sun just going down and oh, that's
Yeah,
really pretty. Let me stare at it for a bit without reaching for my phone. Or
yeah,
when I try and condition myself in the morning, don't
yeah,
reach out for your phone after Fajr, reach out for your adhkar book. Try and do
yeah,
that instead, just to
yeah,
ground myself a lot better. That
yeah,
was really
definitely.
insightful advice. And
Yeah,
I'm hoping that whoever's listening on the other side can really benefit from it and also benefit from your story about how you gained courage in public speaking, like in your year 4 assembly. Because I know we all
yeah,
have those core memories like that that really build
yeah,
us up. So,
yeah.
yeah, definitely. I really like that. And keep working on your novel as well, because we
Thank
need
you.
more writers of the diaspora. Because
Yes,
I'm
yes.
done with like blonde girl meets guy at a pool. I'm done with that. I need something better. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's actually historical fiction. It's based on Kashmir through the partition. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I
I'm
need
not
to read
Kashmiri. I'm
it.
Pakistani, but I'm not Kashmiri. But yeah, I was
Okay.
really interested in that area and that conflict and stuff and how it
Yeah.
was what it faced during the partition.
Oh my
It's a bit
God.
of a love story as well, but there's deeper
Oh,
messages throughout. Yeah.
oh wow. How far are you into it, if you don't mind me asking?
I've I've planned out like the basic core and I've written some chapters and some scenes.
Yeah.
Still got a lot to do because obviously it takes some research. I don't want to write anything that's, offends people or,
Mm-hmm.
that is inaccurate because that would be an injustice to a people. But yeah, it's going. It's going.
That's good. That's
Hopefully I'll
good.
see the end of it because
Yeah.
I've started so many novels and so many ideas and then I've not seen the end of them because I've been
I know
writing
what you
since I was
mean.
11, right?
Yeah.
So many plots that never got to see
The
the
light
end of the
of day. Yep.
yeah,
Yep. I know what you mean. They're just somewhere in
yeah,
like my Microsoft Word, sometimes in
yeah,
the trash because I don't want to see them ever again. That happens too. Mm.
yeah, yeah. No, but this one I'm definitely gonna see the end of this, inshallah. So
Inshallah, inshallah. Everyone listening, make lots of dua for Fizza to get her novel
yes,
finished,
please.
inshallah.
Yes,
And
please.
like in out in the world and all of her
Yeah,
novels too out in the world. I mean,
I mean,
yeah. So that is the end of this episode. I hope the audience really enjoyed it and see you for another one soon. Uh
you, bye.
bye.
Bye.